Deputy Dr. Karti Rais Jamia Rohingya Halifax.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Under today's theme, I would like to present the problems faced by Rohingya Muslims in Burma, a country known as Myanmar, and what kind of challenges we are facing and what are the possible solutions we can expect. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, you probably are well aware of the major human rights violations. But briefly, to state a few: freedom of movement, freedom of worship, freedom to marry, access to higher education and healthcare, land ownership, and revocation of voting rights. These are all violations that Myanmar government, the government of Burma, has been violating since 1962, particularly in 1982 with new citizenship law targeted against Rohingya Muslims. The policy, you have seen, you have heard, you have read in the news media the violence against Rohingya Muslims in Burma in 2012, June of 2012, by radical elements, Buddhist extremists. This violence has taken place because of the government policy for many decades. The discriminatory policy, ethnic cleansing policy of the government of Burma has paved the way for violence against Rohingya Muslims by extremist elements. The government's policy was instituted under the false pretext of Bengali, naming Rohingya people, renaming Rohingya people as Bengali or illegal Bengali immigrants from Bangladesh. This false pretext the government has used for decades that has led to this violence against Rohingya people. So these are the problems briefly, but let's talk about solutions. What do we expect? What kind of solution we are hoping to have in Burma today? To find a solution for this issue, we have been fighting in the international stage for many years to reinstate the rights of Rohingya, to solve the problem. The United States government, White House, State Department, US Congress, United Nations General Assembly, United Nations Human Rights Council, European Union, OIC, and many individual countries in the world has worked so hard to find a solution to solve Rohingya issue, but the previous government of Myanmar has neglected, evaded, and dragged its foot to address the issue. It was very evasive and often not sincere, very deceiving of the government of Myanmar. So for the solution, now there are some expectation from the new government of Myanmar, led by National League for Democracy, led by Nobel laureate Daw Aung San Suu Kyi. But there are challenges ahead for the new government. The situation is complex because of the previous government in collusion with the extremist elements in the country has created the situation, complex situation, and there are reasonable expectations that the new government of Myanmar will need some time and space to address this issue. But the issues faced by Rohingya people are humanitarian issues, human rights issues, and political issues. These are all intertwined. And we urge the government of Burma, the new government of Burma, to prioritize this issue, put into priorities which one is most important. which issue need to be addressed most urgently. That's what we are asking the new government of Burma. There is an issue of identity, the name Rohingya. It's very important for Rohingya people. Like any ethnic minority, any people in the world, self-identification, it is against international law to deny any ethnic group, any people, their self-expression of their own ethnic identity. The Rohingya people are facing the same situation, but we understand the situation is complex. It may take some time for the government of Burma to address this identity issue, but we have more pressing issues that we need to look at. This dispute, these arguments, these campaigns, Bengali self-identification, this issue is overshadowing humanitarian issue, the dire situation faced by Rohingya IDP, Rohingya people in camps. This is the situation they are facing. This dispute of identity, calling Bengali, illegal Bengali immigrants, this issue is distracting the main issue of important issue that people are facing for daily survival. So therefore, we appeal to the new government of Burma to address this issue on incremental basis. The best approach, we ask the government of Myanmar to take an initiative for dialogue, intercommunal dialogue involving Muslims, Rohingya Muslims and Buddhist, Arakan and others, and government itself involved in the process. Dialogue, interfaith dialogue, intercommunal dialogue. And we also ask government of Burma, new government of Burma, to give international NGOs, humanitarian groups, to give them access to all areas in Arakan, Rohingya IDP camps and other villages. And this is very important for Myanmar government to understand that these 140,000, nearly 140,000 IDPs, Rohingya Muslims in camps, need to be repatriated to their own original homes, original villages, in their own townships. They need to be returned. They cannot stay in this horrible camps for year after year. They need to be returned to their own homes. Rohingya people need access to higher education and healthcare. There are accumulation of hundreds of Rohingya high school graduates cannot go to college and universities because of the travel ban, and they are denied admissions. And we have a new generation coming up, young children without education. So there is going to be a significant educational gap, a void in Rohingya community without education, because young generations are not getting education. Healthcare, government healthcare, private healthcare. People need to get given access to government healthcare, hospitals and other places. The restrictions of Rohingya people, travel restrictions, marriage restrictions, worship, freedom to worship, all other restrictions must be lifted immediately. These people cannot move around. People cannot seek education. People cannot worship in their masjid. People cannot get married. These things need to be addressed. Voting rights. Government has taken away the voting rights from Rohingya. Or Rohingya people cannot contest the elections. That voting rights has been with Rohingya people ever since their existence in Burma. This is the first time the government of Burma has revoked, banned Rohingya Muslims for voting, not only from voting, but also from standing in the election, contesting the election. We urge government of Burma to stop calling Rohingya people Bengali or illegal Bengali immigrants. This is the centerpiece of the problem we are facing now. Calling Rohingya, renaming Rohingya as Bengali. Government must take every step to stop this, to its all the power it has, because this thing, this renaming of Rohingya, is causing a lot of problems. We understand government has to take some steps, Some government needs to take some time, and we are very willing to work with the government of Myanmar on this Rohingya ethnic identity term. Ethnic identity is very important for us, but we are here to sit down and with the government and have dialogue and see how we can solve this issue of ethnic identity. When there is a will, there is a way. We understand government needs to do this incrementally, and we are very willing to help in this issue. Ethnic identity Rohingya, the name Rohingya, as perceived by the extremist elements in Burma, is not a national security threat, as the previous government and some other extremist elements and often articulated that the name of Rohingya is a national security threat. This is a false pretext. It is not a national security threat. It is nothing. It is but peaceful coexistence, integration of Rohingya community within the mainstream Burmese society. This is peaceful coexistence and peace in our country. Rohingya identity is important, but as Aung San Suu Kyi has indicated in last press conference with U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry that she understands how important the ethnic identity is for any people, any group of people in the world, but she needs time and space to work on this issue, prioritizing the important issue first and then gradually build on. We support that idea. We appreciate her honest statement. We ask government of Myanmar to be persistent. That's the key. The persistence is the key. Government needs to continue to engage with this issue, not to drop the ball. When Secretary of State visits, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry visits Burma, talking very constructively. We like to see the government of Myanmar continues to positively engage in this issue and sustain the effort, and inshallah, we hope if they are sincere, we are willing to work with them, and we'll find a solution. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.